Welcome back. In our previous lesson, we learned how leverage increases your buying power, allowing you to control trades much larger than the money in your trading account. But the moment you click buy or sell, something else happens behind the scenes, something every trader needs to understand. Before your trade is even opened, your broker reserves a portion of the money in your trading account. Why does the broker do that? What happens to that money? Can you still use it? And what role does it play in keeping your trade open? The answer to all of those questions is margin. Unfortunately, margin is one of the most misunderstood concepts in Forex trading. Many beginners think it's another trading fee or a hidden cost charged by the broker. In reality, it's neither. Once you understand what margin really is, many of the numbers on your trading platform will start to make sense. In this lesson, we'll break it down step by step using simple examples, so by the end of this video, you'll understand not only what margin is, but also how it works throughout the life of a trade. So, let's get started. Let's begin with the most important question. What exactly is margin? Margin is the amount of money your broker reserves from your trading account before allowing you to open a trade. It acts as collateral, giving the broker confidence that your account has enough funds to support the position you're about to open. Let's see how that works. Imagine you have $1,000 in your trading account and you decide to open a trade. Your broker requires $100 as margin. Before the trade is executed, the broker reserves that $100, while the remaining funds stay in your account. This is where many beginners get confused. They assume that the broker has taken the money or charged it as a fee. That's not what's happening. The money still belongs to you. It's simply being reserved while your trade remains open. Once the trade is closed, that reserved amount becomes available again. If someone asked you to define margin in one sentence, you could simply say, margin is the amount of money your broker temporarily reserves from your trading account as collateral to support an open trade. Now that we know what margin is, the next question is just as important. Why does your broker need to reserve that money in the first place? Let's go back to our example. You have $1,000 in your trading account, but thanks to leverage, you're able to control a position worth $10,000. Now, suppose the market starts moving against your trade. As the losses increase, they have to come from somewhere, and they come from the funds in your trading account. That's why brokers require margin before opening a position. By reserving part of your account, they ensure there's enough financial backing to support the trade if the market doesn't move in your favor. Without margin, traders could open positions far larger than their accounts could realistically support. If those trades generated heavy losses, there might not be enough funds to cover them, creating unnecessary risk for both the trader and the broker. This is why leverage and margin always work together. Leverage allows you to control a larger position than your account balance alone would normally allow, while margin provides the financial backing that makes using that leverage possible. So, what happens to the rest of your money after your trade is opened? Let's continue with the same example. You have $1,000 in your trading account, and your broker has already reserved $100 as margin. Your trade is now open. That $100 is now called used margin because it's being used to support your open trade. The remaining $900 is called free margin because it's still available in your trading account. At this point, your account looks like this. Account balance, $1,000. Used margin, $100. Free margin, $900. Everything is working exactly as it should, but from the moment your trade is opened, one thing never stops. The market keeps moving. Every price movement affects your trade. If the market moves in your favor, your trade gains value. If it moves against you, your trade loses value. As this happens, another figure inside your trading account begins to change. That figure is called equity. Think of equity as what your trading account is worth right now. For example, if your account balance is $1,000 and your trade is losing $50, your equity becomes $950. If your trade is making $50, your equity becomes $1,050. This means your balance can stay the same while your equity changes every second, and that's the number your broker pays close attention to. Why? Because it shows the current financial strength of your trading account. Using your equity, the broker calculates something called margin level. Don't let the name intimidate you. Margin level is simply a health check for your trading account. As long as your margin level stays high, your account is healthy. One more thing you need to know is that margin level is always displayed as a percentage. You can think of this percentage as a quick health score for your trading account. The higher the percentage, the healthier your account. As the market moves against your trade and your losses increase, that percentage begins to fall. If it drops too low, your broker may issue a margin call or eventually trigger a stop out. At this point, you might be wondering, do I have to calculate all of these numbers myself every time I open a trade? Fortunately, the answer is no. Modern trading platforms calculate these figures for you automatically. Whether you're using MetaTrader 4, MetaTrader 5, or another trading platform, you'll usually find important account information at the bottom of the platform in the Trader Terminal section. Here you'll typically see values such as your balance, equity, margin, free margin, and margin level updating in real time as the market moves. This means you don't have to calculate them manually while you're trading. Instead, your job is to understand what each number means and how it affects your trading decisions. But what happens when your margin level keeps falling? Let's continue with the same trade example. The market is still moving against your position and your losses continue to increase. As a result, your equity keeps falling, causing your margin level to drop even further. At first, your trade remains open. The broker doesn't immediately interfere because your account still has enough funds to support the position. But if your margin level falls to a certain level set by your broker, you'll receive what's known as a margin call. A margin call is simply a warning that your trading account is running low on available funds. Depending on your broker, this warning may appear as a pop-up message on your trading platform, an email, a notification in the broker's mobile app, or even an SMS alert. Regardless of how you're notified, the message is the same. Your account is approaching a level where action may be required. Receiving a margin call doesn't mean your trade has been closed. Instead, it's an opportunity to respond before the situation becomes more serious. For example, you might decide to close one or more trades to reduce your losses, deposit additional funds into your trading account, or simply monitor the position if you believe the market may recover. The choice is yours, but the longer the losses continue, the less time you have to act. If your losses continue to grow and your margin level keeps falling, the next stage is called a stop out. This is where the situation changes. The broker no longer sends warnings or waits for you to take action. Instead, the broker steps in and automatically begins closing your open positions to prevent your account from losing more money than it can support. Many beginners assume every trade is closed immediately, but that's not always the case. Most brokers begin by closing losing positions one at a time until your margin level rises back above the required level. However, the exact process depends on your broker's policies. Although this can be disappointing, the purpose of a stop out isn't to punish you. It's a safety mechanism designed to prevent your account from falling into even greater losses. And that's the complete margin process. Your broker reserves margin before the trade is opened. That reserved amount becomes used margin, while the remaining funds become free margin. As the market moves, your equity changes, causing your margin level to rise or fall. If your margin level becomes too low, you'll receive a margin call as a warning. If no action is taken and your margin level continues to fall, your broker may trigger a stop out to protect your account. Once you understand how these concepts work together, your trading platform becomes much easier to understand. Instead of seeing random numbers, you'll know exactly what they're telling you about the condition of your account. You started this lesson by learning what margin is and why brokers require it. Then you saw how used margin, free margin, equity, and margin level work together while a trade is open. Finally, you learned what happens when your account comes under pressure through a margin call and, if losses continue, a stop out. The next time you open your trading platform, those numbers won't just be numbers anymore. You'll understand exactly what they're telling you about the health of your trading account. Here at Forex Made Easy Hub, our goal is to break down complex Forex concepts into simple, practical lessons that anyone can understand. So if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next lesson.